Wednesday, the International Court of Justice said that as an occupying power, Israel is obliged to allow and facilitate aid into Gaza and the occupied West Bank and must not use starvation as a method of war. It also said Israel was under an obligation to cooperate with relief offered by UN agencies, including UNRWA, which it banned last year. The ICJ found that Israel's allegations against UNRWA taking part in the 7th October Hamas attacks were unsubstantiated. Well, joining us now from Amman is UNRWA's Senior Communications Manager, Jonathan Fowler. Jonathan, thank you very much for joining us. And what does this judgment from the ICJ mean for UNRWA's work? Because we have heard senior Israeli officials today say that they will not work with UNRWA despite this judgment.
The judgment is very, very important. I mean, as a restatement of the obligations that are incumbent upon any member of the United Nations. You know, if you're a member of the United Nations, you are supposed to follow certain rules, you have certain obligations, and the ICJ has underlined that. Now, if the state of Israel chooses not to follow the advisory opinion, well, I mean, that poses many, many questions, of course. But the fact is, it's a restatement of international law, the obligation to cooperate, and that would apply to any member state, whoever they are, wherever they are in the world.
So in terms of what happens next and trying to facilitate this judgment, tell us about the next steps.
Well, the next steps, I mean, a lot of this is incumbent upon the Israeli authorities, of course. I mean, it's about changing what they're doing, because the ICJ has said very, very clearly that what they're currently doing is wrong and is against all obligations that the member states are meant to follow. Now, I mean, things that could happen and should happen would include allowing unimpeded access for humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip, allowing all United Nations agencies to do their work, not least UNRWA as the largest United Nations agency on the ground in the Gaza Strip. Our staff continue to work, of course, because it's not just about getting aid across the border. But the point is, this is all supposed to be facilitated. And I also want to emphasize it's supposed to be done in good faith. The court was very, very clear about that. So, you know, I mean, that's the challenge. The issue now, of course,
do you think that America, the American administration, might be able to intercede in some way? Do you expect that they might even do that?
I mean, it's incumbent upon all member states of the United Nations to ensure that international law is followed by all other member states of the United Nations. I mean, one would hope that this ICJ ruling would focus minds in all capitals around the world, not least those with influence over the state of Israel. I mean, that's what matters. You know, there's a moral and there's a political imperative from this judgment.
And specifically with regards to UNRWA, what are the key pieces of work that you would want to do if you can get access to Gaza?
Well, I mean, we have access to Gaza because we're still inside Gaza. We have 12,000 staff operating within the Gaza Strip.
Let me rephrase that. More access to Gaza, I should have said.
Well, to get aid in, that's the point. I mean, we must be able to get aid in. We have about 50% of the United Nations' entire stock of shelter supplies, tents, warm clothing, blankets, plastic sheeting, the stuff that's needed for winter. We have around enough food for 3 months for the entire population. So not allowing us to bring that in is sending a message globally and to the people of the Gaza Strip: you do not deserve this aid, and that's a problem in itself. I mean, that's a question of basic humanity in the face of a huge humanitarian crisis. Meanwhile, on the ground, you know, I mean, our staff are continuing to do thousands of medical appointments every day. We have children in our education system, you know, doing learning activities, even if it's not full schooling. We have water, sanitation, garbage collection. All of these things continue. So, you know, we need to be able to join all the dots. But the point is, you know, we also need to be able to do our work properly in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem. And Israeli legislation has notably forcibly shut down our schools in East Jerusalem, so throwing, you know, 800 children out of school before the end of the school year. And it's very difficult for us to carry on doing our work in the West Bank, notably in the north, where there are 30,000 people who've been forced out of their homes in camps in the north, and the camps are gradually being bulldozed. So, you know, we need to be able to do our job properly as humanitarians and as a development organisation.
Jonathan Fowler, UNRWA Senior Communications Manager, thank you very much.